If you wish IT ran a little more smoothly in your organization, there may be some reasons why it's not running to the way that you wish it did. So if you're in that scenario, this video is for you. My name is Dave Mason. I'm the CEO of Shift IT Solutions based in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. I've made several videos on a number of these topics as to how to better run IT within your company. But what I wanted to do is kind of amalgamate them and come up with a list of 5 points that I think you really should consider doing that's going to make IT run a lot better in your organization, just from an organization standpoint, not necessarily from anything technology driven. First thing I think you need to do is you need to take a member of the executive team. If it's not you, designate somebody who is responsible for IT. They don't need to know a lot about IT. They just need to be responsible for it, and they need to be willing to learn a little bit. That person hopefully is going to have some SMART goals attached to how IT performs in your organization. When one person is accountable, you get results. When everybody's accountable, nothing often happens. So I think it's really important that you designate that individual. Secondly, I think you need to figure out where your company sits on the continuum of IT functionality versus IT spending. Everybody wants great functionality for minimal cost, but that's not realistic. I think you need to make a conscious decision where you lie on that spectrum. Do you want to invest heavily and have a bomb-proof system that's going to work no matter what, the newest and the best all the time? Or on the other hand, are you willing to give a little, incur a little downtime in exchange for not running the newest software and hardware, letting things age and have a little risk? Personally, I don't think that's where I would put my company, but there are companies out there that function, and as a business leader, you knowing where you sit is the most important thing, not necessarily where you necessarily are on that continuum. Then I think what you need to do is you need to make an effort to review the big picture quarterly within the organization, whether it's with your external partner, your internal partner, but certainly with the stakeholders, and most importantly, the individual on the executive team that you've designated as responsible. High-level stuff, not necessarily what's going on today with what problem, but where are we in terms of, is IT meeting the organizational goals as the organizational goals change over time? I think having that big picture meeting every quarter is really important. The fourth thing you need to do is you need to come up with an IT budget. When you don't have a budget, everything seems expensive. So if you're able to figure out where you are on the continuum, like I mentioned in step 2, meet as a team to look at the big picture of what IT needs to do for the organization. You can come up with a budget as to how much you should be spending. That budget needs to include new hardware acquisitions, potentially updating or adopting new software packages, and how to support those 2 areas of your business. You need somebody to support your users, you need somebody to support your hardware, you need somebody to support your software that you use generally, and you need somebody to support the software that you use specifically in the organization. So a support budget as well. Sometimes I see people mix them all into one line, and you've had a lot of hardware acquisitions. It looks like you've spent a lot of money on IT, and sometimes the support side suffers, and therefore the results, and they don't get the maximum amount that they could be from those investments that they just made. So come up with a budget, maybe talk to some business owners in peer groups or friends that are similar to you, similar in size, maybe talk a little bit about their IT budget and come up with something that works for your organization. Go back into your accounts, see what you've spent in the past. If it's not working really well for you now, realistically, you're going to probably have to spend more money. Sometimes that's a function of what you're spending is what you're getting. So that's something to think about. And the last thing you need to do is you need to take a look at the relationship your employees have with their IT. And you as a leader, you need to direct those employees how to manage their own IT. So often we'll see employees who are like, well, this isn't working, so there's nothing I can do. IT's got to fix it. That's not necessarily the self-sufficient relationship you're looking to create. You need to put some IT accountability onto your employees and tell them what you expect them to do, or the ability, what they can do. Maybe send them on some training if they're deficient in self-management, but a little bit of self-management, and certainly the willingness to work with IT in your organization to fix the issues they have is really important. That comes from the top, is, hey, this is a co-owned problem, not this is IT's problem. And the employee will become more invested in their own success. So in summary, if you designate an individual on the executive team, that's really important. You figure out where you sit in the spectrum of cost versus functionality as an organization. You meet quarterly as an executive team or IT team with that designated individual to look at big picture issues, figure out where the organization is going. Fourthly, you come up with an IT budget that's realistically going to meet your needs. And the last thing is you train your employees how to be a little bit self-sufficient and give a clear expectation to them what you want them to contribute to solving their own IT issues. I think you'll be a lot more successful. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, send me an email to this email address that you see right now, or send me a private message if you're viewing this on social media. I'd love to hear from you and see what you think. And if there's any questions that I can answer, I would be happy to do so. Once again, my name is Dave Mason, and I hope you enjoyed this video.